Hey everyone, and welcome to the System Thinker Show. This is season 6, episode 54, and I am so glad you're here. We want to give a huge shout out to our listeners in 49 countries and also to the many students from China who are engaging with us on our case study website. We see you and thank you. Now, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're getting value from what we do, could you please hit that subscribe or follow button? Believe it or not, less than 20% of our listeners are actually subscribed. Hitting that button really helps us with the streaming algorithms, which lets us keep bringing you these best-in-class business and cultural insights. And if you really want to help us out, share this with 10 friends or colleagues. This content is designed to complement our business playbooks, Shift Happens, Culture by Design, Power by Discipline, Volume 1, and the newly released Volume 2. You can find all 3 of them online. Okay, now for a word from our fantastic sponsor. This explainer is brought to you by Crunchtime Gourmet Popcorn and Apples. All right, if you're someone who really appreciates big flavor and genuine craftsmanship, you need to listen up. Our sponsor is Crunchtime Gourmet Popcorn and Apples right out of Bridgeport, West Virginia. Their whole motto is made fresh, made fun, made to crunch, and they mean it. Their gourmet popcorn and caramel apples are made fresh every single day, and the star of the show is their homemade small batch caramel. It's a one-of-a-kind recipe. And the menu? Oh man, it's dangerously good. We're talking caramel apples like Andy's Mint Chocolate, a Granny Smith apple, dipped in that amazing caramel, covered in milk chocolate, and then rolled in crushed Andy's Mints. Wow. Or if you're more of a classic snacker, their movie theater batter popcorn is perfection. Fluffy, rich, and just buttery enough. So whether you're looking for a gift, stocking up the office, or planning an event, head over to crunchtimewv.com. Shop now or check out their contact page for fundraising or booking their food truck. All right, let's dive into our topic today. Our starting point comes from a pretty well-known book, Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. But here's the thing, we're not going to look at this as some kind of cutthroat, power-hungry tactic. Nope, we're going to reframe this as a really crucial leadership discipline, one that's key to building healthier, more effective team cultures, because being aware of these dynamics is just so important. And here it is, Law 47, laid out plain and simple. The message is just crystal clear, isn't it? That feeling you get from winning, that momentum, it can be absolutely intoxicating. But if you push too far, if you get greedy and go past the original goal you set, you risk losing every single thing you just worked so hard for. True victory, as Greene puts it, isn't just about winning the battle. It's about knowing when to stop and lock in those gains for good. And this gets us right to the heart of the matter, this idea of the strategic pause. Now, let's be clear, this has nothing to do with being passive or being afraid to act. Not at all. This is an intentional, decisive, strategic move. It's all about turning what might look like simple restraint into an incredibly powerful leadership tool that creates success that actually lasts. So, that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's break down a fascinating case study from a manufacturing company that was right in the middle of a massive transformation. We're going to see how this one principle completely changed the game, not just for their project, but for their entire team culture. So here's the setup. This company was deep into a 2-year project to roll out a new management operating system, which is basically just the formal, structured way they manage their day-to-day work. And look closely at the goal here, stability. They weren't shooting for the moon with some crazy expansion plan. They just wanted to nail the fundamentals, predictable production, better safety, and controlled costs. That initial clarity, that specific mark they aimed for, that was absolutely critical. And this slide, well, it tells the whole story. You see, they started it with a super clear aim. Then they started getting those early wins. By month 14, things were going great, performance was way up. And what happens when things go great? Everybody wants more, right? The pressure started to build to expand the scope, to add new things, to chase that next shiny object. And this was the make or break moment. Instead of giving in to that temptation, the leadership team made the incredibly brave, disciplined call to just pause. They called it a consolidation window. And that pause wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a powerful sign of discipline. It gave the team the space they needed to breathe, to really master the new systems, and maybe most importantly, to build trust that their leaders weren't just on some endless quest for change's sake. Okay, but you might be thinking, that's a nice story about one company. But this isn't just a one-off thing. This principle of strategic restraint, of knowing when to stop, it shows up again and again across nearly every industry. And the data? Well, the data tells a pretty powerful story. Just look at this number from McKinsey. It's staggering. 70% of business transformations fail. And a huge reason for that? Scope creep. It's that same intoxicating feeling of early success. It leads teams to expand too quickly, to get greedy, to lose their focus. This right here, this is the heavy price you pay for not knowing when to pause. And we can even quantify the benefit. In manufacturing, when plants intentionally build in these stabilization or consolidation phases, they see 20 to 30% less backsliding on their improvements a year later. What does that mean? It means they actually get to keep the wins they fought so hard to achieve. And this isn't just for factory floors or operations teams. It even applies in places you'd think are all about pushing forward, like R&D. When research labs put clear stop rules in place to decide if a project has gone past its mark, they cut wasted spending by as much as 25%. A little restraint saves a lot of money and keeps everyone focused on the work that truly matters. Now, what I find so fascinating about all this is that Green's idea, which on the surface can sound like it's all about cold, hard power dynamics, is actually echoed by a whole chorus of other experts in change management and systems thinking. They might use different words, but they're all describing the exact same truth. Just take a look at how all these different frameworks really come together on the same core idea. Green says, stop at the win, consolidate power. Petersenge, the systems thinking guru, says, learn before expanding. John Cotter, the change expert, says you have to anchor gains culturally. See the pattern? They're all talking about the same fundamental discipline. Knowing when to stop moving forward is every bit as critical as knowing when to start. So let's bring it all home. What is the one big takeaway for you and your team? After you've scored a huge victory, what's actually the most powerful move you can make next? It really boils down to this simple idea. The goal is to hit the mark you aimed for. It's not about just throwing more and more darts at the board hoping something else might stick. The first one is a real achievement. The second is just, well, it's just activity. And this is the bottom line, the core message. True organizational power isn't about constant, endless motion. It is about restraint with intent. The most mature, the most effective teams and organizations understand that victory isn't defined by constant expansion. It's defined by sustainment. Protecting your hard-earned wins is the ultimate sign of discipline and strength. So that brings us to our final question, the one I want you to take back with you. I want you to think about your current work, your big projects, your team's most important goals. Can you clearly define where your mark is, the thing you are aiming for? And have you already hit it? If the answer is yes, then maybe, just maybe, it's time to resist that powerful urge to keep pushing forward, and instead take that strategic pause to truly lock in and consolidate your victory. And please remember to support our sponsors. This episode was brought to you by the amazing folks at Crunchtime Gourmet Popcorn and Apples out of Bridgeport, West Virginia. They make incredible gourmet popcorn and caramel apples with homemade caramel that's crafted in small batches. It is perfect for game day, movie night, gifts, or even for treating your team at work. You can shop all their delicious flavors online at crunchtimewv.com. That's crunchtimewv.com. For any additional information, please feel free to reach out to us through our website at www.karasinnovations.com. And don't forget to check out our other podcast, The Continuous Improvement Lab, and find us on our YouTube channel, Karas Innovations Group. And finally, a huge thank you to our executive producer and founder, Lenier Johnson. Thanks for listening, everyone.